Try that. Welcome along to the broadcasting lounge. We are here at Interlagos for some GTP racing tonight in SuperCars NZ. And I've got Corey Kitchen alongside me. How's it going, Corey? Apologies. Apologies everyone at home that can't quite hear Corey at the moment. I will get that sorted. Quiet's not the issue. Quiet's not the issue. No, I need to, um, why can I not see the broadcasting lounge under Discord and my... Well, we're having a good time here. Everybody can hear me, nobody can hear Corey. I can't quite find the input to turn Corey's mic on. This is why you don't jump in at the last minute. No one can hear you at all.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, no, hang on, here we go. Looks like we're up now. Welcome
We're
along,
good.
Corey.
Oh, so everything I said was all in vain.
It was.
Well, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Interlagos, 15 turns, a lot of elevation, a lot of good passing opportunities. She's going to be all good, 4.3 kilometres the circuit, and we're on the Grand Prix layout tonight.
We are on the Grand Prix layout.
I would just
indeed.
like to tell everyone, if you just go to the season information in the Discord, it says there's no compulsory pit stops for 50-minute races. So therefore, there is not a compulsory pit stop.
And the usual, well, no, it's been moved up to 17
Very cool.
incident
No
points.
argument
Was it
there.
always 17? I can't
It was-
yes, no.
it was
17
always
incident
17.
points tonight. So
Makes
we're
sense,
going to be having
But yeah, I would
one
give them 55
race.
litres of fuel then.
50-minute race tonight.
Yeah, there's not a compulsory pit stop. You just have to because you can't.
Alright, now we can't hear the drivers talking about the compulsory pit stops in the background, but can confirm, being a 50-minute race, there is no compulsory pit stop, as the guys were talking about. So, again, because I jumped in at the last minute, haven't had a chance to give the guys the driver's briefing, so they're all sorting each other out, which is absolutely great to hear, isn't it, Corey?
It is, yes, with a little bit of help from Steve Darren, but that's always handy. So in the server, it's 20 to 5. Track's 21 degrees, so nice cool track for the start of this race. And Stefan McCartan didn't put in a lap time, I don't believe.
Yes, I think he's going to start from the back of the GTP field there.
Yeah, I did hear him in the chat before. He said, and he's still he's still asking questions. So obviously the back of the grid challenge tonight, maybe. And we've got some points we can talk about, Shana.
Oh, we've also got a grid order to run through, which we're probably going to do quick smart because they're going to be rolling in a minute. So Aaron Goodrick on the pole for GTP, Dan Turner second, then Michael van der Haas, Jonathan Turner, Matthew Gerard, Jack Hintz, Christian Jenkins, Wayne Hartnell. And then we can roll back.
Rounding out the GTPs and the GT3s. Darren will be obviously.
So Stephen McCartan rounding out the GTPs, and then Darren Lobb on pole for GT3s.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Darren Love on pole for GT3. Nico Cordia alongside. Jason Bigby, Leaf Swinning, row 2. Blake Greenhall, Roger Forbert, row 3. Nathan Gardner, Shane McLeod, row 4. Steve Darren, Lou Robinson, couple of old mates, the next row back. Daniel Johnston, Bill Kilgore, Adam Hughes, and that'll be all of your GT3s. And we're looks like they're about to start rolling off for a rolling start. It's every Thursday.
That's right. So the GTPs will head off first, and then there should be a little bit of a gap back to the first of the GT3s. just to make sure that if there are any issues with the GTP field, that the GT3 guys have a chance to roll through. Hopefully the stuttering that I'm seeing in my Streamlabs screen, which isn't coming through my iRacing screen at the moment, is just something that I'm seeing on my end. Hopefully it's going out to the world a little bit smoother than what I'm seeing.
It's much the same there, mate. I'll kill the Discord stream and see if that makes it any better. You might just have to prompt me.
Yeah, that does look to have made a difference immediately, so we managed to do that with Leon a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully we can make it work. I need to figure out what's slowing my PC down as well, but that will be a job for not while we're trying to stream. So the GTP field just making their way up the hill past pit exit now. That pace car will roll into the pit entry, not pit exit. Pace car will roll into pit entry, and the GTP field will come around, and they're going to take the green flag in a moment.
Green flag.
There is the green flag, and they are away, heading off down towards the centre S.
Good start from Aaron Goodrick. He's out there all alone at the front. Did we?
Oh, there's contact there. That looked like one of the Team West cars going around.
Yeah, looks to be 3 or 4 cars involved in that. These GT3s coming around where the accident was now.
So Aaron has pulled out a massive lead, and Stefan McCartan already up to P2, and you can see the GT3s coming out of Curva de Sol in the background. Bit of tyre weaving going on for Nico Cordia there in P2 behind Darren Lobb as they come down into turn 4 now. And GTP's already making their way through turn 8 here.
Well, Aaron Goodrick in the GTPs at the moment.
Yeah, Aaron
4.5 second lead.
absolutely smashing it at the moment, but Stefan McCartan, we know how quick he is. He's been able to pick his way through the carnage and make his way up to second already, and I'm sure he will be closing that gap down pretty quickly. But you
It
can
looked
see
to be Matthew Gerard, Michael Vanderhaas, and maybe Thomas McCall getting caught up in that earlier incident.
yes, a little bit unfortunate for those guys.
Dan Turner actually in the pits, so it looks to be towed.
But yeah, pretty comfortable for Aaron Goodrick at the moment. 4.2 seconds back to Stefan McCartan, just coming down the back straight here, but it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that gap and see how quickly it is able to be closed down. Darren Lobb currently leading the GT3s, and he's got Matthew Gero just making his way around him as he recovers from that turn 1 incident, or turn 2 incident, and Matthew's managed to clear the GT3 field now, and he will look to push forward and see if he can have some battles in his own class. But Darren Lobb just stretched out to just over a second lead over Nico Cordia there in the Mustang.
Yeah, he's been solid this season, Nico. He's been hanging around that podium every round.
He sure has. Came to us from ACC, so that would suggest he likes a GT3 car. Of course, while they're all based on the same cars that ACC has, the physics between the two games are actually quite different. So it was an adjustment for Nico coming along to iRacing, but he's been around for I think about a season and a half with us now, so he's obviously getting to grips with the iRacing physics model and doing very well in this Mustang GT3.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's puts in a lot of time doing setups for himself and getting the car set up how he likes. Doing quite well in the V8s as well, so it's always good to see. Fastest lap of the race that time round for Stefan McCartan. So he's now 3.2 seconds behind Aaron Goodrich. So things heating up at the front of the GT field.
Things heating up a bit here between Leith Swinney and Blake Greenhall as well. Blake just able to hold off Leith for the moment, but Leith looking very racy and keen to see if he can try and find a way by.
Yeah, faster than Blake last time round by 3/4 of a second. So yeah, that's a fair bit.
And that was Jonathan Turner just getting around to them as he also looks to recover from that incident, making his way through the GT3 traffic, who are at this stage on the same lap as him, as there's a bit of a rub there between Blake and Lee. Oh, sorry, Leith's managed to get past Blake. That was Blake and Nathan that were having a bit of a rub there.
Rubbins racing on Thursday. Another fast lap of the race for Stefan McCartan into the 21s, 21.78, so that's faster than anyone else qualifying time. I'll add to that as well.
Wow, that's impressive.
Stefan not putting in a quali lap.
More battles going on down here. Adam Hughes, teammate to current P2 runner Nico Cordia. He's got Louis Robinson just behind him, and just ahead was the man who stepped up without being asked and helped organise the group qualifying tonight when I was running late, Steve Darren. Cheers, Steve.
Yeah, Steve and the SDI Mustang. Well, not SDI anymore, is it? Jigsaw Racing.
You did that livery for them and you still can't get it right.
My apologies. It's been one of those weeks.
Fair enough.
Plenty of Mustangs out there, Shana.
Yeah, it looks like about 4 people have joined in the Mustang.
Oh, they're all good people.
And also 4 people have joined in the Camaro. Interestingly,
Corvette.
they're all... Corvette, yes. They're all... Well, there's a bit of spread between Daniel Johnson and Shane McLeod in terms of space on track, but all consecutive positions for the Corvettes. So P10 to P13 in the GT3 class are all Corvettes.
Oh, there you go, the pack mentality from those lads.
Yeah, personally I'd like to see them a little bit further up than that, especially when you've got a Mustang running P2. I'm going to say it must be the drivers that are the issue here.
Yeah, qualities, surely. I will admit though, I love the sound of that Corvette.
Yeah, it does sound quite nice.
When you get beside somebody revving the tits off that V8.
Let's jump on the roll bar there. Oh, that's Michael van der Haas going off the track to get around the GT3 traffic there. Oh, and that's very busy up there. Louis Robinson's got a good view of all that.
Another Corvette. It was funny, somebody mistaken that for a Ferrari.
Who was that?
Was it you or Doug?
It was me.
Yeah, it was you. I think Doug pointed it out. I didn't forget it.
My friend Doug wouldn't do anything like that, would he?
No, surely not. He's not here to defend himself. Up in the Corvette. Get around the Mustang. These two do like to race together too.
They do, and Louis certainly putting the pressure on Steve at the moment.
You reckon there'll be some words in that chat? There'll be banter.
There will definitely be banter going on down there. 2 forcing Louis to the outside. Can Louis make it work there? He can't.
And Bill's just waiting for his chance too.
He is. Just lurking in the background there, Bill.
With GTP cars coming up on these guys as well.
They are, and look how close those top two are now. So we've been focusing on some GT3 battles for a while, but this is certainly starting to get tight as Aaron's having to make his way through the traffic. Sometimes can be a little easier for the second guy in the line, just because the first guy comes along, wakes the GT3 traffic up to the fact that there's faster cars coming through, and then the second guy often gets it a bit easier, but it looked pretty fair across the two through there. But certainly that gap down to just half a second now, so Stefan has started off the back of the GTP field, been able to make his way up to second almost immediately with that chaos at the start, and he's closed right up to the back of Aaron Goodrick now, and he is keen to try and take this lead.
Yeah, and they're currently, well, that's Blake Greenhall we're just coming up on now and passing. Well, getting around. Hopefully we're still live on that, but so that only leaves them with 5 more cars until they're past the complete GT3 field.
Yeah, that's right. Not too many left for them to get by now.
No, there'll be just one more after they get past this Hilton Haulage BMW, Jason Bigby.
And Jason's made things relatively easy for them there.
Yeah, being predictable. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Sure is.
Now it's time for Stefan to put a little bit of pressure on. These boys will be coming up on Nico pretty shortly.
Yes, it's Stefan right under that rear wing now, and through this section, patience is the name of the game. There are a couple of spots where you can sort of have a late dive if you're strong enough under brakes, you can make it work, but requires both guys to make it clean. Probably your better chances are once they get up the top of the hill here. They've obviously got turn 1 after a long flat out run, so that's always a good opportunity, especially when you've had that draft. And then after they go down the hill through the S's, they've got a good chance at turn 4 as well at the end of the long straight there. Stefan staying in line through turn 1 now, so he might be focusing on getting a good exit out of the centre S, and he will try and see if he can get the job done down at turn 4 maybe.
Tomato soup is good, according to Scott Pickering. That is good. Tomato soup is okay from me.
Okay.
Okay, it's not on the top of my list of soups that I would like.
Interesting topic of conversation.
Yeah, well, Scott started it. Scott.
So Stefan's managed to get to the inside there and has been able to make his way around and made it look pretty easy as well. I think Aaron, recognising that Stefan's got plenty of pace on him, it's still early, no sense wasting time finding somebody that's probably going to get past you sooner or later anyway. And you didn't fight that one too hard, I think.
No, but we could take a minute to talk about some championship points.
We could, as we just jump to look at the Team West battle between Kristen Jenkins and Thomas McCall.
Yes, these boys love fighting hard together.
By the way, that cue was not at all to tell you not to talk about points. That was simply to let you know what I'm looking at, because I know you can't see it.
Yep, well, I got sidetracked and didn't get to the points. But I will right now get to the points. We'll start with the GTPs. But Stefan McCartan, the current leader leading into this round and current leader of the race, 336 points. Second place, Jack Hintz, 291. Aaron Goodrick, 284. Christian Hermanson, 281. Wayne Hartnell, 269. And then you've got Dan Turner, Thomas McCall, right off Jenkins, all within 5 points
Wow.
of each other. So there's the Team West boys, all racing hard together. So there's actually 269, 267, 264 and 261. 4 of them.
Wow.
And
And it's
smack in the middle.
it has been absolutely remarkable just how often we've seen these Team West guys fighting it out on track. So closely matched. They obviously love racing each other and just out there having a good time. And seems to be they know that if there's no one from any other teams around, well, at least they can have a race amongst themselves.
Yeah, they're competitive against each other, and we love that. We really
Absolutely.
do. And we move into the GTP, in the GTPs, 13 cars made start for the season. So that's one, and they range from 336 points down to 50 points. So obviously Dane's only been in one race, scored himself 50 points, so he's currently bringing up the rear. Hope to see you back soon, Dano. GT3 class, Darren Lobb, 333 points. Paul Bloomquist, not here tonight, 294 points. Nico Cordia, and who's 72. Then you got Blake Greenhall, Leaf Swinney, Nathan Gardner, Roger Corbett, Chris Zalowski, Quinn Wilson, Jason Bigby rounding out your top 10. 31 cars made a start in GT3 this year. And Dane is also bringing out the rear of the GT3s. He's obviously started one race, scored himself 18 points. And back soon, Dane.
Yes, I'm trying to remember when Dane made a start in the GT3. I can certainly remember him running my BMW GTP livery at the Nürburgring. Maybe, did he race last week in the GT3s when I wasn't here?
I'm not too sure. I don't think I was here, was I?
I don't know. I know I wasn't.
I was here, and I don't think he did. I don't know. I don't think I remember seeing his name.
Okay, well he's obviously raced GT3 at some point, which is absolutely fine. A few people have asked about changing cars, and there was talk about you might be able to change cars but not class. The clarification we made was we didn't specify that it was one car per driver for the season this season, so that's absolutely open. And if people were wanting to switch classes, especially some of those faster guys in GT3s, we're absolutely not opposed to them stepping up to GTP. But it was made very clear that obviously they wouldn't be able to carry points across between classes, so they would then start from scratch, and that's obviously what's happened there with Dane. He's got points in GTP, those don't count towards his GT3 points, so when he's racing GT3 he's gathered points in that as well.
Yeah, and maybe just turning up for a bit of a drive, having a bit of fun.
Absolutely. And I know that's Dane's approach to it. He doesn't do it for any sort of championship points. He just loves coming along and racing and being in his sim, and it's his happy place. And obviously having a bit of time out from it at the moment, I think he does have back problems, so it can be quite hard with that. But yeah, I'm sure he will be very keen to get back in when his back's feeling a bit better and he can get in and do some more racing.
Yeah, looks like Matthew Gerard, he's made a pit stop. I'm not sure whether he's had an incident or something.
Matthew Gerard's shown in the pits at the moment, and I would say he's had an incident. I'm sure we'll be able to find that, but that's actually reminded me that we need to go back and have a look at what happened at the start as well. So the first data we have after the green flag is Dan Turner crashing, and it was a Team West car that I saw going around. So Dan just losing it on that curb, and unfortunately I think that was Jonathan Turner getting caught up in that as well. Not really sure exactly how Stefan McCartan made so many places, because there weren't that many people involved in that incident. Matthew Gerard shown has been involved as well. Oh yeah, he did did loop around, but it was sort of, looks like only the 3 cars involved in that, so I'm actually quite interested, and
A couple may have taken the grass route.
yeah, potentially. Just something I'm going to try and line up now. We'll be looking at potentially an onboard with this guy from the green flag, so let's see if we can run that through now. This should, hopefully, if I can get it to play through, here we go. This could be quite telling here. So he's hung back a little bit, although he has closed up before the green flag, so gets underway, gets a good jump. Made a couple of positions there already, one more there as he dives on the inside of the brakes, gets alongside Jack as well, manages to clear him, and then essentially just that incident taking place right in front of him with those 3 cars involved, and that blue car there, I'm not sure who that was, just slowing up on exit as well. I'm not sure why that was. So basically he was left with only about 5 cars in front of him by the time he got to turn 2, and 4 of them got out of his way.
I'm just enjoying this onboard now with the chat, so there's obviously going to be a picture of the chat, but I'm watching what Shane was just talking about with you guys in the chat. It's a hell of a start though.
Absolutely. So now I'm interested to figure out who the car that slowed up was. That's got me absolutely stumped.
Bit of a go down through the field.
Let's have a look at this, because we've got... So that's Dan Turner regathering from that, and I need to change the camera on my replay anyway, but that wasn't Shane McLeod, he was in a GT3. But that is what happened to Shane McLeod there. Anyway, that's yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a rocky start. The GT3s though, that was pretty clean, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Not too much data at the start from GT3. There's a few guys that have had issues a little bit more recently. Actually, we saw Steve Darren and Louis Robinson having a battle. It looks like they've had their own separate incidents. So this is Steve just ahead of Louis at the time and just losing the rear at turn 1, probably getting stuck on that traction control with the GT3. Such a typical thing for these cars, and yeah, just often stills out that rear axle when you'd like a bit of drive going to it to be able to drive out of the side. Not able to do that when the traction control kicks in like that. And Louis, a little bit later on, had an issue of his own. Oh, he's come across one of the ANZ TRL cars across the track. I don't think it was Nico, because he's still showing in P2. So that would tell me it must have been Adam Hughes who was across the track there and leaving Louis with heavy damage on the front end there, trying to drive it back to the pits, but I think, yeah, he's just given up on that and towed, so it's very unfortunate for Louis.
Yeah, back out on track now though, Louis.
Well, that's always good to see. So I think it was a yellow car that slowed up out of turn 3 when we were on the onboard with Stefan there. And it must have been Jonathan Turner, because he's the only yellow car I can see in the field. So I wonder if we run through from the green flag with Jonathan if we might be able to get a bit more of that story. So he was certainly up towards the front, so I think it was him. Actually, the other yellow car there is Aaron Goodrick, but we know it wasn't him. We know he had no issues whatsoever at the start.
Yes, none at all. Ron Burgers. Oh, fastest lap of the race that time round. Stefan McCartan at 1:21.63.
Oh no, so it was the blue car, sorry, not the yellow car. So the blue car is Michael van der Haas. So why has Michael van der Haas slowed up? It's I mean, he's certainly had contact with the first car that went around there. I wonder if surely he hasn't felt like he needed to redress that, because it was certainly not the reason that car went around. But I don't know, maybe just deciding he does feel like he needed to redress it, because I wouldn't have thought that was enough contact to give him any damage either.
I think that's good sport. That's what I'm going to call that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if he wasn't at fault, he was involved in it, and he slowed up and waited, which is good sport.
Yeah. I guess made things a little easier than we would have liked for Stefan, but I think he'd already had it pretty easy up to that point as well anyway, so what's one more car?
And speaking of Stefan, just gone faster again with the 1:21.49.
Wow.
So yeah, he's just picking up the pace now through this, we'll call it the middle stages of this 50-minute race.
Yeah, and he's already pulled out a 10-second lead over Aaron Goodrick as well, so halfway through the race basically, and absolutely gunning it. So I wonder if he's thinking about using up what's left of the tyres and getting in for a pit stop soon. The fuel should take them to, I think, about the 40-minute mark, or maybe 35. I can't remember exactly what the fuel adjustment that we've given them is. I think it's about 60%.
57.8 litres you've given, so it's just sitting in the pit telling me 29.3 laps, and that's just standing still, so probably knock a few off.
Yeah, they're at 19 laps now, so probably not too far away from needing to pit.
Yeah, some of these boys will have low fuel. I wonder if I can sneak into Discord there and ask who's in there. Any of them are in a GTP actually.
No, it looks like they're all GT3 drivers. Not too many close battles on track at the moment. Probably the closest gap I'm seeing is this one between Lee Swinney and Blake Greenhill.
Well, these two love to race together.
They sure do.
Just going around, getting out of the way. And BSK car and Blake Greenhill, Balaki as we call him.
Yeah, Blake's got a good exit off the bottom corner there, and good toe up the hill, and has been able to close that down under half a second now, and even up to under 0.2 now through the S's. So Blake's got good momentum, and he's been able to close right up onto the back of Leith, and I think we may see him move soon as he pulls out of the draft. We've got a GTP in the background who I think has just rolled out of it, recognising that there's a battle going on. Just let them have their battle, and we'll probably make his way around now. And Blake's been able to pull off a nice move there with the draft down the straight, and then pulling out under brakes to get by Lee Swinney there.
Yeah, that's some good work there from all drivers. The GTP driver seeing that there was a battle going on, and I just had Blake disappear on me. I'm not sure what happened to you.
Didn't disappear on my end, so that's good. Everybody at home got to see all that nicely.
Yeah, that BMW getting around that Chevrolet, probably unreliable. Well, still BMW is what I'm talking about.
Oh, that one behind the BMW, I can confirm, is a Ferrari.
Oh, what? Oh, well, I'm not even looking at that metal right now. I'm not looking at your stream.
So were you not looking at Blake and Leith, but you were talking about their names?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got it on most exciting still on my end.
All right.
It's on them now. Are we still on them?
We are still on them.
Well, that's a Ferrari.
It is a Ferrari.
I actually thought, hey, did Leith jump into GTP at all?
No, I think he's been GT3 all season. Could be wrong, though.
No, anyway, for it.
I mean, you're the one that's got the points in front of you. You can probably tell me if he's got points on the board in GTP.
No. Might have been last season.
Yeah, actually, I think that does ring a bell. I think he might have done GTP last season, decided that he prefers GT3, so slotted back down. Can probably do that on the screen to give the guys at home a reminder of what the total race length is, rather than just having the current elapsed time up there. We can now see that it will just reach half an hour in out of a 50-minute race, so 20 minutes remaining. Looks like actually a number of guys have taken some pit stops. So we've got Michael van der Haas, Jonathan Turner, Matthew Gerard having pitted in GTP. Dan Turner having pitted twice in GTP. Although Michael van der Haas and Jonathan Turner pitted on lap 1, so they will... Sorry, no, Thomas McCall and... No, I was right the first time. Oh, I'm not doing a very good job of reading across lines at the moment. Michael van der Haas and Jonathan Turner pitted on lap 1, so they will likely need to be in again. We've got Blake Greenhall and Jason Bigby currently in the pits for GT3, and Aaron Goodrick out of the GTP field just making his pit stop. Took it nice and easy into the box there. Jack Hintz also making his way in here.
Got any MRX cars in the field?
We do.
MRX being the weekly sponsor. Well known that the MRX chassis conceived during the 2020 lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown, something that Nick come up with during lockdown and taken the world by storm, I guess we could say it now, from selling over in Australia and apparently over in the States.
Yeah, that's right. So, any of our viewers that are familiar with the New Zealand real-life motor racing scene, maybe you're aware that MRX are well known for race car fabrication. So they make a lot of roll cages, a lot of stuff for race cars, and obviously COVID hit and people weren't racing their cars anymore, so a lot of their work dried up, and Nick came up with the idea to start making sim chassis, branch out, and they've been very successful with that and continuing to do it to this day, so that's been great to see.
Yeah, Mitchell Race Extreme, so yeah, the custom builds that have come out of that shop are absolutely mind-blowing. Some of the awesome ones that I've seen. Some have stirred up a bit of shit, but that's always something that's going to happen. Someone's not going to like it. But I tell you what, the MRX chassis are great. I can vouch for that. I've had one, and all the little knick-knacky stuff that Nick's come up with to add on to them is brilliant. You know, there's cooling systems, keyboard trays, and the custom designed triple mount. So I know some of you guys will be familiar with Bruce Tannock. He's got extreme screens, pretty much, we'll call it, and they're pretty much wrapped right around, and that's all coming off his chassis. Also, the MRX chassis is part of racing sims, which you've had a go on one of those sims there, Shano, at the V8s.
Yeah, absolutely. Racing Sims took their Sims down to Taupo, and they're all set up on MRX chassis, which, yeah, they're a very, very good chassis. Obviously, only had about I think it was a 10-minute go in it, so hard to give any feedback for the longer term. But I know Doug absolutely loves his MRX chassis, and says the seat in it is the most comfortable seat in the house, so that's very good. You have to be comfortable on those long stints in the endurance races.
Yeah, Doug has openly admitted to falling asleep in his simulator. So
Absolutely.
he has, yeah, I have not fallen asleep in my simulator, but yes, definitely have sat in one for a long period of time.
I've been very close to falling asleep in my simulator during a 24-hour race, but I think not quite. Probably at that stage where you're just sort of resting your eyes and almost asleep, but still alert to what's going on around you. Stephen McCartan in the pits, so he obviously had a fairly comfortable lead over Aaron Goodrick before Aaron came in for his stop, so we would expect that he will emerge pretty comfortably in the lead as long as he's been able to get down to speed in time and doesn't have to serve any penalties. And he's making his way out now, and he's going to head down the hill, and we'll be able to watch him rejoin.
Just waiting for Aaron to cross the line.
Yes, here's Aaron now, not even at the start finish line as Stephen McCartan's just exited the pits down the bottom of the hill. Long pit exit here as well, where it used to actually feed out right almost onto the apex of turn 1. I think around the mid 2000s or early 2000s, safety and common sense, I guess, dictated that it should probably feed out somewhere different, so they extended it alongside the track on the run down the hill, and it feeds out after turn 3 now.
Yeah, so my SDK is giving me 22-second gap. I'm not too sure what you've got.
Yeah, I've got a 22-second gap there as well, so for once our SDKs are telling us the same thing.
That is good.
Oh, I've picked up this at the right moment. Jack Hint's just making his way around Louis Robinson there at the bottom of the centre S's, and having to go off the track to get around him cleanly. And I think there's a little bit of urgency from Jack because he is in the midst of this battle with Kristen Jenkins just ahead of him, and it's just half a second, or hovering between half a second and 0.6 at the moment. Interesting effect coming through from the lights. I think this was set quite late in the day, this race, and a bit of fog around as well, so you can actually see the lights starting to light up the track in front of the drivers at the moment. I don't, obviously, we don't have time advancement on like Doug likes to do in the summer series, so we're not going to go into full darkness in the next 13 minutes, but certainly with a little bit of fog around and the light just fading, those headlights are probably needed now.
Yeah, so it's just gone past 5:30 local time here in Brazil. Sao Paulo, Brazil is where we are tonight, and I come over here for some nice Brazilian sun, and all it goes fog. Pretty disappointed, not gonna lie.
Yeah, at least it's not as heavy as what we had a few weeks ago though. I can't remember what track we were at when we had very heavy fog, and Sean complained that the stream looked like a word that I probably can't repeat on the stream.
Yeah, Sean, potty mouth.
I think the level of fog we've got here tonight probably just enough to make it look quite nice, look like it's a little bit murky without without completely ruining the look of the stream.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is a nice little battle we've got going on as we jump on the nose of Jack Hintz.
Yeah, Jack and Christian Jenkins going for it.
That's right.
Around the Larky safely.
Yeah, so this is a good illustration of just how quick the closing speed is between the GTPs and the GT3s and how onto it they have to be. And Jack's had a pretty good look down the inside there. Christian just gave him enough space to project to be able to bail out of it when he, I think, recognised that he wasn't really far enough alongside there, but must have been very close to a bit of a rub if there wasn't some light contact there.
You got to also point out that these two guys are on completely different setup. Yeah, it just could have been a bit of over-braking there by Christian as well. Of course, he's doing it with his hands.
Yeah, that's right. So I can confirm everybody across both classes have taken at least one pit stop. The earliest of the most recent pit stops that I'm seeing is lap 8 for Louis Robertson in the GT3. We did see him having to tow, so unsure whether he's going to be on track for fuel. Potentially may have to come in for a little splash, but we are getting into the business end now, so if he does need to come in, it shouldn't be too long until we see him come back into the pits. And Christian's just been able to open the gap up here a little bit as well, so potentially in clear air Christian might have a little bit of pace, but Jack's been able to take advantage at times of some of the GT3 traffic. I think you can certainly see there Christian was held up for quite some time behind that Mustang, and Jack was able to close that gap right up again, and well, he had a decent look earlier. Can he get a good draft up the hill here and make a clean pass? It looks like Christian's been able to get a good exit.
Yeah, it looked like right off has got a great exit out of there. And a good run up the hill, so Jack will have a little bit of tow here. Going to get him a little bit closer to turn 1.
He is closing.
Easy enough to go.
Oh, I think he thought about it. Oh, he's just had a little moment and he's gone off. He's managed to rejoin without losing too much, but he's dropped back to a 2.5 seconds, so not ideal there from Jack. I think he kept it on the track because it hasn't triggered any left track data to bring up anything that we can get a replay on, so we can't even go back to see what actually happened there for him, unfortunately. Roger Forbert, Nathan Gardner having a nice wee battle here. Roger pulling out, getting alongside. He's going to have the inside down into turn 4, so that'll be the preferred line there. But Nathan's going to try and hang on the outside. He's been able to do that, but he ran wide as well. Certainly would have picked up an off track for that. Not sure whether he went far enough for the slowdown. A little bit of a rub, maybe a bit of braille there as Roger came across to feel out where Nathan was. But for now, Nathan's been able to hold on to the position.
Yeah. Trying to work out what position he's in.
So Nathan currently running P5 in GT3, Roger P6, and they are 15 and 16 overall.
So, yeah, so Nathan up 3 spots and Roger up 1. Still the biggest mover of the night, Stefan McCartan. He passed most of those cars on that one.
Absolutely. Interesting there, Nathan. Almost feigning to go into the pits there, but I think just trying to discourage Roger out of the tow there. Well, that looked quite nice with the both Ferraris flaming at almost identical times there, which is quite unusual because with Nathan being a bit further up the track, you would have expected the gear shift to come a bit earlier from Nathan, but it looked like they were shifting that almost the exact same time there.
It's just a bit of close racing still going on. There's only a couple other guys that are sort of close together, and that's Adam Hughes and Dane McLeod. P8 and P9, I think.
Yeah, so we've got Shane McLeod P9. He is not too far off Adam Hughes, hovering around half a second at the moment. That gap between Christian and Jack is still sitting at between half a second and a second up there it's actually for the final podium position in GTP. So as we get down into the last 5 minutes of the race, that I'm sure is going to be a very hotly contested position. Actually, I've just seen this gap close right up as well. Matthew Gerard with Dan Turner now 0.8 behind him, but it was momentarily at 0.2.
Yeah, there's a few guys getting close together at the moment. Lee Winnie and Nico. Nathan Gardner, he's still getting in there as well. And Shane McLeod down to under half a second. Adam Hughes and Shane McLeod.
Oh, as the GTP cars come through, that was car 100, which was Kristen going quite deep there, and that actually allowed Jack to get past as well, or was he already ahead? No, I think it was in that moment that Jack made his way by, so we can actually have another look at that. Yeah, so Christian coming up on these guys ahead, goes in deep, trying to clear them, and then Jack able to just walk on through on the exit of the corner. So a big mistake there from Christian has cost him that position, and he's now sitting a second and a half behind Jack. So potentially that could have just decided the podium, and Christian might have just thrown away a podium position there. But of course, not criticising the mistake from Christian, because it cannot be easy to do all the braking with your hands.
100%. Yeah, so we must be getting pretty close to the end. 4 minutes, I think, roughly. So we'll get maybe 3 more laps. 2, we'll say.
Probably 2 more laps. I think it's just about to tick down to 3 minutes. So yeah, I think probably this lap and then 1 more, and we should be seeing the checkered flag after that. Dan Turner closing up on the back of Matthew Gerard once again, and trying to go around the outside through the flat out kinks on the way up the hill. They're going to be side by side down the pit straight. Dan's on the wrong side of the corner though. Just lets Matthew go ahead. He'll see if he can tuck him behind and get a good run through the S's, entering on the Optimum Racing line there. But Matthew able to get a good run through there and pull out a little bit more of a gap. This still looks to be the closest gap on track at the moment though.
Who are we on at the moment there, mate?
We're with Dan Turner at the moment.
Coming up on the back of Matthew Gerard. Got
Yeah.
the Turnage in front of them. There must be a lap between them.
No, hang on. That is not Jonathan Turnage that's ahead of them. So Jonathan's in a yellow car at the moment, so for position he is the next car, but that car ahead of Matthew is potentially Kristen? No, it's not Kristen.
It's Wayne Hartnell.
Wayne Hartnell, it is Wayne.
Yeah, so he's a lap in front of these two boys behind him. So you got Wayne Hartnell, Thomas McCall, Michael Vanderhaas and Jonathan Turner. They're all one lap down off the top four cars, which are still on the lead lap. Then you've got Matthew Gerard, Dan Turner, they're 2 laps down. So obviously with a bit of trouble at the start and having to tow, they've lost a couple of laps. But it's cool that they're still having a bit of a race together.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's some people out there that once they're involved in an incident, if they have to tow to the pits, they don't necessarily stick around very long, where sometimes, you know, you can come back out and find yourself a good battle and still have a real fun night. And I know Steve was having technical dramas on Tuesday in the V8s, and he, as Matthews just slowed up there. What was that about?
Quite lag out too, so Stefan McCartan is flying up towards the start-finish line right now.
So Stefan taking out the win, a very comfortable win in the end as well from Aaron Goodrick. 40, well, just under 40 seconds is the gap at the moment.
Yeah, there'll be some odd finishing positions.
So we're actually going to see P2 and GTP come across the line just ahead of P1 and GT3 as Aaron's just made his way around Darren Lobb there. I think that was Darren. Yes, it was. Not the usual colours we used to seeing Darren in, but I was fairly sure those were the colours I'd seen him in earlier. So Aaron comes home P2 in GTP, and then Darren Lobb P1 in GT3.
That last lap of the race, Stefan fastest lap of the race, with a 1:21.06.
Wow. So Nico Cordier claims P2 in GT3, and Leith Swinney is going to be just behind Jack Hintz. So 2 third places coming across the line almost together. Jack Hintz P3 in GTP, and Leith Swinney was P3 in GT3. But this guy doesn't even qualify, goes to the back of the grid, and I mean he was P2 by the time he got through turn 3. And it didn't take him all that long. I think it was a matter of maybe 5 laps before he was right on and even past Aaron Goodrick. So absolute dominant performance from Stefan, and he's come all the way around back to the start finish line to do some victory burnouts.
Yeah, good race from everyone. There was some awesome driving.
So Stefan's reset back to the pits now. Jack celebrating his podium. Good job there. He was certainly able to put plenty of pressure on Christian, and not sure whether it was entirely pressure that forced the mistake from Christian, but we did see as Christian was coming up on that GT3 traffic, he did make a mistake. Maybe a bit too, maybe it was a factor of the pressure coming from Jack, a bit too eager to try and get around that GT3 traffic and sent it deep under brakes, and just a bit too deep and coming unstuck there and allowed Jack to walk through the open door. Nathan, you're not going to make much smoke doing burnouts out there on the grass. He's managed to get back to the track, and then he might have the traction control on, might not have a button to turn it off, because it doesn't look like he's able to do burnouts when he's actually on the tar seal.
No, that is unfortunate. But that's all you're going to hear from me. I've got a phone call coming in that I would need to take. But thanks for having me tonight, Shana, and look forward to seeing everybody on Tuesday.
Cheers, Corey. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
So that was a very exciting race. We've got a few people hanging around in the waiting room at the moment. We don't have our race winner from either class, but we do have P2 in GTP, which is Aaron Goodrick, so we can bring him in. Aaron, P2 in GTP, you led for a few laps at the start with Stefan starting off the back, but he was able to reel you in pretty quickly by the look of it.
Yeah, he certainly was. His pace is super rapid, and I knew there was no way I was going to hold him off. I saw him coming. I think I had about 5-second gap or 4-second gap at the start, and saw him saying to like eat into that. So I put the car in attack mode, and I kind of slowed that up to like half a second a lap. But as soon as he got in front, I just turned it back to balance mode, and he comfortably drove away, probably a second a lap easy. But no, he is certainly next level, but no, it was cool to be able to podium in the supercars this week and podium in GTP. First time I've done that.
Yeah, I missed that one actually, so that's a pretty good effort. You must be real happy with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, it was that was a good race tonight. I actually enjoyed the track. It kind of like just flowed together quite naturally, and you could sort of just do lap after lap. It was obviously good just being able to the field got a little bit more spread out, so it was good to make passing manoeuvres, and there wasn't any close calls for accidents, which was good.
Yeah, although there was certainly a little bit of carnage behind you at the start, you must have been happy to be clear of all that.
Yeah, I did see that in the mirror, and certainly said to the boys that were in the Discord that we were sitting in, watch out, bust up turn 2. And I'm sure they would have come across that if they didn't have a big enough gap there between the GT3 and GTP field. So, no, it certainly helped get me a little bit of breathing space off the start to Stefan and the other boys, and sort of just worked on keeping it where it was or extending. It was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Any sponsors you want to shout out?
Nick, obviously, from MRX. So that was pretty cool to obviously have MRX car on a podium for the supercars, and it was the MRX Enduro, and obviously MRX again tonight. So obviously Rosetown, got to have that on the car. So since it's their business and all. So, but other than that, cheers for you boys for running the stream and obviously throwing the league up.
Awesome, congratulations again on P2.
Cheers, man. Thanks, eh?
Alright, so that was Aaron Goodrick, P2 in GTP, and we have got Stefan in the waiting room now, so we can bring him in. Stefan, you start at the back, and you're still absolutely unstoppable, charging through in about 5 laps and winning by 40 seconds. How good was that?
Yeah, it was good. Very lucky at the start with I think 6 cars just sort of parting ways at turn 2, and being in P2 from P10 at turn 2. So no, it was good fun. I enjoyed it. Very small, chaotic sort of track, but no, good fun.
Yeah, there was certainly a bit of carnage at turn 1 there. I think we counted 4 cars that essentially got out of your way, but to be fair, you'd already made it past 3 or 4 by the time you got to turn 2 just on your own.
Yeah, I think I sent it in between right off and I think it was Daniel, sort of into 1 to sort of keep in the middle ground, and right off, thankfully, sort of backed out of it and didn't force the 3 wide the whole way through, and then then the chaos ensued and through I went.
And then you wasted no time in chasing down Aaron Goodrick and getting by him.
Yeah, the Porsche around here takes a good few laps for the tyres to actually sort of be in the optimum range. So I was sort of babying them in a bit, and then caught Aaron, made a good opportunist move, and he just sort of let it happen. With some GD3 traffic there slowing him down a little bit, and from there the rest was history pretty much.
Yeah, I did observe that it was in a piece of the track that isn't a traditional overtaking opportunity, but you certainly made it work, and did comment that Aaron made it not necessarily easy for you, but not any harder than it needed to be, I guess, in a point where he knew that you had significant pace on him and it was still early in the race.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's still very early, and anything can happen around here in multi-class with it being so tight. Because you got to be, real close to the GD3s in certain parts of the track, just because it's only 3 cars wide in total. So, yeah, it was a good race. GD3s are really good this round, and with holding their lines, and it made our life, well, especially my life, a lot easier. I'm not sure how the other guys got on, but it didn't sound like there was a lot of crashing and stuff just going off the voice comms this week.
Yeah, well, that's good because we certainly heard a lot about that in Discord last week. So,
Yeah.
no, congratulations. You're probably getting a bit bored of rolling through the list, but any sponsors you want to shout out?
I'll never get bored of shouting out my sponsors. It's yeah, Blackout Electrical Solutions, Simrigs, Shunt Scenery, DSM Painting and Decorating, and Palmerston Bakery.
Awesome, cheers, and congratulations on an epic drive tonight.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
That was Stefan McCartan, P1 in GTP, and we've had P2 and P1 from that class, so we can get the final podium sitter in GT3, and that is Jack Hintz. Congratulations on another podium in GTP, Jack.
Thanks very much. It's been a while.
Yeah, certainly a good drive from you tonight, though, and you had a nice battle late on there with Kristen Jenkins, and he just made a little bit of a mistake at turn 1 getting through some GT3 traffic, which opened the door for you.
Yeah, I mean it was a fantastic battle. I've got to say thank you to him because that was just awesome, and it was very touch and go for a while there.
Yeah, it was certainly opening and closing a fair bit. Looked like there were times when he was able to pull out a little bit, and then he'd catch some traffic and you'd catch back up, or you'd find some pace and catch back up and close in, and it was certainly good to watch.
Yeah, I bet it was fantastic racing it.
So there was obviously some carnage at the start as well, down at turn 2 there. You managed to put your way through that all right?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be as big as it was. I managed to dodge the first one, and then another car came out of nowhere. So thankfully, I managed to dodge that, and then it was just yeah, go from there pretty much.
Yeah, there was certainly a lot going on, and you obviously had some good reactions to be able to pick your way through.
It was great fun.
Any sponsors you want to shout out?
Well, first I'd like to say thank you to all the GT3 drivers because it was fantastic tonight. Everyone held their line really well, and it was no worries at all.
Yeah, Stefan made similar comments that the GT3 guys were very good tonight, so good to see after what I've heard about last week. I wasn't around last week, but certainly heard a lot about last week, so good to see that that's all been cleaned up nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, well, congratulations again on the podium, and we'll let you get on with your evening.
Thanks very much.
Alright, and unfortunately we don't have Darren Lobb, our GT3 class winner, but we do have GT3 P2 finisher, Nico Cordia. How's it going, Nico?
Hey, good evening, gents. Super stoked with that one.
Yeah, so P2, and I think you started P2 and just pretty much ran there all night, didn't you?
That is exactly what happened. I'm super happy to be P2, to be honest. I wasn't overly happy with my practice coming into this round during the week. But I did a couple of small tweaks in practice, and it actually worked. Very happy, and then yeah, got into a low 33 in qualifying, and majority of my race was in the 33. So I'm happy with that. Didn't have the pace to catch old Darren, but it was a good race. I was a bit on my own. It was a bit lonely, but I'll take the loneliness on a podium any day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always nice to have a nice quiet race when you're running in a podium position, isn't it?
That is for sure. I mean, it was good. It's a hard track. I'm not a very big fan of Interlagos. I think it's very limited on grip, and these these tight corners in the Ford just gives heaps of understeer. So managing that and then trying to manage the gap to P3, because I know the guys behind me, Blake and I think it was me, Lee or someone. They were super quick in qualies and practice as well. So I know I had to manage the gap. So for me, it wasn't about pushing to catch Darren. It was about managing the gap to P3.
Yeah, good stuff. I had another question loaded. Oh, so we did observe that you seem to be appearing in and around the podium positions in GT3 quite regularly these days. So you're getting a good feel for the iRacing physics and the GT3 cars in iRacing.
Oh, definitely. Look, GD3s are definitely my go-to. If there's anything that I want to when I get on, if there's anything that I do online on the officials, it's GD3. It's my preferred class to drive. Um, and yeah, I'm still in the hunt for the championship. I mean, it's basically why I stuck to the GD3s again. I love the GDPs, but there's no way in hell I'm gonna catch Stefan. Um, uh, Qualifying pace I'm happy with at the moment. It's my race pace that I think I can up a bit. And yeah, in the hunt for a SuperCars NZ Championship, with all the years that I previously before I went on to PC when I was on Xbox, following the league and watching the supercars, obviously, and in the GT3s, watching the streams and just thinking to myself, that I'm going to join that. I don't know when, but I'm going to. Now I'm here, and that's my bucket list is get a championship, and that's why I opted this season not to drive the V8. I wanted to focus more on my GT3 driving, and learning the new car, obviously, trying to better myself and my pace in.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's obviously paying dividends nicely for you. Any sponsors you want to shout out?
Just my club is always Oz NZ Combined Racing League, for their support, and obviously Adam, my teammate, who's always right there on top of everything and guides along with setup changes and just practice in general. Yeah, so just those boys and maybe the wife for the support, for watching me sit here on my sim rig and while she's watching series alone on Netflix. So yeah, shout out to the wife for just supporting me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For putting up with it and letting you sit on the sim for a couple of hours on a Thursday night, eh?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Alright, good stuff. Cheers, Nico, and congratulations
Awesome
on
stuff.
another podium.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. See you guys next week.
Yeah. Alright, so that will just about do it. Although we can have a quick look at some results. Bring those up for you here. So, Stephen McCartan taking it out in the GTP class from Aaron Goodrick and Jack Hintz rounding out the podium there. Rolling back to Christian Jenkins, Wayne Hartnell, Thomas McCall, Michael Vanderhaas, Jonathan Turner, Dan Turner, and Matthew Gerard rounding out the top 10 there. And that top 10 also rounds out the finishes in GTP, and then we can see there 11th overall, first in GT3 was Darren Lobb. Nico Cordia finishing P2 there, we just talked to Nico, and Leith rounding out the podium in GT3. Rolling back to Blake Greenhall, followed by Nathan Gardner, Roger Forbert, Jason Bigby, Adam Hughes, Shane McLeod, and Steve Darren in 20th. Followed by Bill Kilgour, Louis Robinson, and Daniel Johnson rounding out the grid. Looks like Chris Zalewski may not have taken the start, so yeah, he qualified but didn't, or joined the server at some point, but didn't start the race, unfortunately, Chris. So, but good to see 23 guys out there having a blast, having a race, and having a good time. So awesome stuff, and thanks to everybody at home for watching along. This feels a little bit uncomfortable talking to myself, winding it up, but obviously Corey's had to disappear and do his own thing. You can see it's getting pretty dark in the fog down there, so it is about time we round it up and that you'll get on with your evening. But of course, a big thank you to MRX Race Sims for sponsoring this week's racing, and MRP for sponsoring the HPR series, and of course Napa Auto Parts for being an awesome supporter of the Broadcasting Lounge. Thanks again to everybody for watching at home. He can't hear me, but thanks Corey for joining me tonight and keeping me company. We will see you all next time.